Okay, today we have another fine instructional video from Fortec Make You Loco. We're going to show you how to inspect your upper and lower ball joints for wear, and more importantly, your inner and outer tie rod ends also. Now what stands my video apart from others on the web is the fact that I have 10 years experience of checking these day in, day out, doing multi-point inspections and stuff like that. So I've really honed in my skills as to what works and what does not work for getting an accurate diagnosis on these. A lot of times the one component will be really worn and it can feel like another component when you're doing the testing on there. So I show you how to differentiate between the two of them there. Now the best way to test for loose steering components on these vehicles is to jack them up, obviously, get the weight off of them so you can move the wheel freely, and then we're going to grab the wheel at the 3 o'clock and the 9 o'clock position on here, and we're going to push and pull, push and pull, push and pull, and it looks something like this. And you should be able, when you do this, you shouldn't feel anything. I mean, you might feel the sidewall of the tire flexing a little bit, a very small amount, but you should feel zero movement. With the amount of strength you have in your arms, you should not be able to flex any of the steering or suspension components. Now this one, I'll just go down here a little further so you can see. That's very light pressure, and you can see this is flopping big time. So we definitely have a loose inner or outer tie rod end, and I'll show you how to differentiate between those two also going on the back side here. Let's give you a side shot here, front shot of the wheel on here, okay? And we'll do the same test, and you can really see it from over here. Again, 3 and 9 o'clock position, back and forth, back and forth. I should not be able to do anything with this. So this one's pretty bad. Okay, so here we go. What you're going to look for is a popping and or looseness of the outer tie rod end here, where the ball and socket is at, or on the inner side here, you'll see it also. Most of the time, it's on the outer here, the outer tie rod end. It's the most common. Now, if you're getting the looseness feeling, the popping feeling, when you're doing the test on the outside of the wheel here, and this seems solid, right? Everything seems solid. What you want to do is look over here and see if the popping and looseness is on the inner tie rod inside. So I'll give you a look-see and see how this thing looks when it's really loose and coming apart like this. Again, we're grabbing the wheel at the 9 o'clock and 3 o'clock position and pushing and pulling. And you see how the wheel and the rotor and everything's coming along as I push and pull. But the only thing that's giving out and popping is the outer tie rod end, and it's very, very obvious. But you want to go behind there and look and make sure it's not like the wheel hub and bearing, or even I've seen the really bad lower ball joints feel like it's the outer tie rod end. So go behind there like you are now and give a look-see to really verify you're replacing the right part. Now the way you test the lower and upper ball joints on here is the same way. You push and pull, but now it's at the 12 o'clock and the 6 o'clock position on here, but the procedure is the same. And you can see the sidewall maybe moving a little bit, but it's definitely nothing in the suspension here, the wheel hub or ball joints is moving at all. And that's another thing, like I said, go on the back side and check and verify it actually is a ball joint, upper or lower, that's popping as you do that. And that's not the wheel hub on here. A lot of times the wheel hub is the faulty component, and people change ball joints out from doing this test on here. So go to the back side, do it again, and really verify that it is a lower or upper ball joint that's actually popping in its socket, and it's not the hub and bearing. Okay, so that wasn't so bad. This one had a pretty good example of how an outer tie rod end looks on there. It was pretty worn on there. So just keep in mind that the one loose component, like especially the hub and bearings, they can make everything else seem loose, especially outer tie rod ends and upper and lower ball joints, because the hub and bearing, when it's coming apart so much like that, everything else just gives whenever you're doing the other tests on it. That's what you have to realize. So the most important part that you can take away from this is to look on the backside there and look and see exactly what's going on while someone's pulling and tugging on the tire on there.